we finally got there, Vic. We finally made it. After all of the trials and tribulations of the last year, the excitement was palpable. And we got to kick off WrestleMania in a very, very unique way that I don't think anybody will anytime soon forget.
It's cool, man. It really is, because there's that small group of us that are the only ones that are going to ever experience that moment on that day, that time. It can never be duplicated, which is rare, I think, in life. And so when I was in the gorilla position we were going through, you could start feeling that energy, that raw emotion. And this isn't me overblowing it for the people that are listening. I have never experienced anything like that in my life. And then when you walk through the curtain, and I went to the left,
Mm-hmm.
I think you were on the
I
other
went
side.
right.
'Cause
Yes.
I didn't see it. To hear the crowd just chant WrestleMania, this is awesome, welcome back, whatever it was, you got, I mean, I even just got goosebumps thinking about it. It's something that I will never forget in my entire life, and definitely one of the top moments in my life and in my career.
It was the moments actually leading up to us walking out on stage where the excitement really began. As you can attest, gorilla position, the whole entire hallway leading up to gorilla was just chock full of superstars, and everybody became like 12 years old again.
Yeah.
We were standing there. I remember I was standing next to Lana and Carmella, and AJ Styles was making his way up the tunnel toward the front because obviously AJ was going to be in the front of the group. And AJ stopped and he paused and he looked at me. And right then the crowd began to rumble a little bit. And he grinned to me from ear to ear, as big as I've ever seen AJ Styles smile about anything. And he goes, "Did you hear that?" And then he strutted the rest of the way up because everybody knew that we were moments away from having a reaction from a live crowd for the first time in what felt like forever. And man, I would go on the record as saying there was not a superstar or person on that stage, or probably even surrounding the stage, backstage, that didn't have a giant lump in their throat when they walked out there and heard the reaction from the crowd, and the fighter jets flying over the stadium, and God bless America. Man, if you ever wanted real emotion, that was it. That was the most intense moment I think all of us felt, and it carried through the weekend because that happened. We all got a little bit of a taste, just a moment of, they weren't even cheering for anybody in particular. They were cheering for normalcy, for WWE, for WrestleMania, for all of us, for everybody in the back that has kept going through this pandemic. It was just that genuine connection with every person in that stadium, which I thought looked amazing despite only having a portion of the capacity. I think hats off to our production crew and Jason Robinson that makes all that happen, and everybody in the truck. We were up against it. It was not as easy. It looked beautiful on television, but there was a lot more this year that went into it. And I'm sure there are a lot more people that are more qualified than you or I to really discuss the ins and the outs. But I can say on Friday at the production meeting, we were told there's a possibility of rain on Sunday, but we've got contingencies in place. We're ready just in case the sky decides to open up. And, we were ready for Sunday. Little did we know that the weather patterns were going to completely change, and we were about to have a party on Saturday with more rain than I think I've experienced in quite some time.
So nobody knew Saturday, like on Friday, because you see the weather. We even looked at, Saturday's gonna be great. Oh, Sunday's a little rocky.
Right.
Oh,
We were all worried about Sunday, but then Saturday was like, oh well, good thing we've got these measures prepared for what could potentially derail the biggest show of the year. And
2 years, really, if you think about it, like the biggest show in 2 years.
Yeah. And as we went out there, everybody is on cloud nine after that intro, seeing the boss come out and welcome everyone to WrestleMania.
On behalf of our entire WWE family, we would simply like to say thank you and welcome you to WrestleMania!
Man, if you didn't feel that in your soul, you don't have one. That was absolutely awesome. And then right as everybody's just rip-roaring, ready to go, the heavens opened. I've never experienced, I don't believe, to my knowledge, there has ever been a weather delay in the history of WrestleMania.
I was speechless.
But this time, at least in the short term, Mother Nature won that round.
Oh yeah, Mother Nature kicked their ass. Let's just call it what it was.
So everybody shuffled backstage, and to say there wasn't a bit of a feeling of, I don't want to say panic, I would just say uncertainty. Because again, the safeguards were in place to make sure that this was going to run as smoothly as possible, and it did. But Vic, we actually had some of our ATB crew members on the ground in Tampa, was able to capture some of the uncertainty in the moment. Here's Drew McIntyre, MVP, Sami Zayn, and Drew Gulak with our own Vic Joseph.
Well, the rain is gusting down. My tuxedo is drenched with water. I can only imagine what the ring feels like at this moment. Take a look around. Lanterns, wires, lights, flags, everything moving in this gusting wind. I mean, you can even see trees on the outside of the arena going back and forth. You got to imagine, I mean, I don't have it clocked in, but 15, 20 miles an hour maybe of these wind gusts. It's an absolutely amazing situation here as, might have a delay on WrestleMania.
Is this Drew McIntyre's fault? You know, last year I go for my first ever heavyweight championship. We end up in a worldwide pandemic. In the second year, Drew McIntyre's fighting for the title. Are we going to get rained out? Is lightning going to strike? I'm starting to feel like I'm at blame for all this. But yeah, honestly, everyone's hustling around, being ready for anything. But it's on Mother Nature for this one. I'm hoping we're going to have a happy ending by the end of the night, and we get to go ahead with WrestleMania, entertain the fans. I know they're going to be fine come rain, shine, Tampa weather, lightning, it doesn't matter. They're going to be loud as hell. We just need the weather to work with us here.
Well, I grew up in South Florida, and we have a saying, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. You know, you get these hurricane-type storms that blow through, there's chaos, and an hour later, it's like nothing happened. You know? So worst case scenario, maybe there's a delay to start the show. As long as there's no lightning, we're good to go. And, you know, Bobby will kick Drew's ass, and, you know, he'll keep the title, and everything will be wonderful.
So I was backstage. I had no idea what the weather looked like outside. And then when I walked by one of these gate exits to the field, I saw like a torrential downpour. And I looked outside, and it is pouring rain. It looks awesome, though. However, I wouldn't want to be sitting in the audience soaking wet for about 3 hours. But, you know, the WWE Universe, they're super passionate. They're unlike anybody else in the world. And it's the first time back at WrestleMania. So it's crazy, man. I'm unprecedented. We spent a year trying to get back to this point. And then it's like, hey, by the way, it's going to rain really hard. I've wrestled in the rain outside a few times in my independent wrestling career. WWE's been pretty good about having us under a roof most of the time. Sorry, it's Bad Bunny's truck back here. Super scary, but also very dry.
I'm scheduled for night 2, and tonight's night 1, and the time is currently 6:45 p.m., and it's still pouring out there. So it's pretty crazy, and actually I was watching it, and it was a crazy visual to see it, this elaborate production and all this stuff, only for it to be rained out, and the fans are waiting in concourses. So it's very surreal. But you know what? Given the last year that we've had, I almost wouldn't imagine any other sort of way than some crazy curveball. One more crazy curveball. We're not out of the woods yet, are we? So it's crazy. It really is. But then the thought that crossed my mind after the initial, shock of watching that rain was then the realization that it's pretty amazing this hasn't happened before. In a way, we've been playing with fire because we've done WrestleManias in Orlando a couple of times, Tampa, Miami, these are areas where around April it's raining and there's thunderstorms every day. So it's pretty remarkable that with all the outdoor stadium stuff we've done over the years, this is the first time I think it's ever happened, at least to my knowledge. I am cautiously optimistic. I think everything will, it'll work out somehow, and it'll be memorable for sure.
I mean, it was chaos. I wouldn't say it was fun chaos, but Corey, there was anything like it. I was standing there. Of course, you heard from Drew McIntyre, MVP, Drew Gulak, Sami Zayn, all had their own thoughts on the process. I couldn't figure out while I was walking around in slush, because when you're walking around in the back of Raymond James Stadium, where the entryway was for us to get outside of the four corners,
yes,
onto the field. But in between, then you saw water running down the wall. I mean, that's how much rain came down, was it literally was water seeping through the concrete in a steady flow coming down the side of the wall. And then puddles everywhere and there's trash cans and it's like an obstacle course to get to catering or get to makeup or get to TVL. It was unbelievable how much rain came down. But it also is credits to the Drew McIntyres, the MVPs, the Drew Gulaks, Sami Zayn's, yourself included, Michael Cole, the list goes on of all the talent that stayed ready and stayed prepared. Because it was easily to get deflated and, oh man, but everyone stayed calm, cool, and collected.
And again, it was more the tangible excitement. It wasn't a question of if. It was, okay, we're going to make this happen. It's going to happen. It may take 20 minutes. It may take an hour, but we're here. WrestleMania is going down. I think that kind of kept everybody sane, kind of got everybody through the chaos. And again, I'm going to say it ad nauseum. Credit to our amazing crew on the ground, the guys and girls behind the camera who don't get the love and the adulation of the WWE universe, but you better make damn sure you're thankful that we have them, because without them, WrestleMania might not have gone off without a hitch. But
I got a question for you.
What
do you think was going through the minds? I don't want you to speak for them. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, they're getting ready to open up WrestleMania Night 1 WWE Championship match off the emotion we've already talked about. And then you hear Mike Rome's voice of saying, there's weather delay. I mean, I could only imagine, because I saw Drew in that moment and it was like you just angered a lion at the zoo somehow and he wants to feed, but there's no meat around.
Both Drew and Bobby were pacing. That was a great analogy, like caged animals pacing back and forth, ready to tear the house down. But the weather was put under control, so to speak. It was knocked into submission, and WrestleMania finally got to begin properly, and boy, did it ever.
Like what you hear? Catch full episodes of After the Bell on Spotify. Follow us now and never miss an episode.